Ever feel like you're stuck in an endless scroll, comparing your life to perfectly curated online identities? You see these polished highlight reels, these stories of success, and this little voice inside you starts to whisper, "Why isn't that me? Am I doing enough? Am I enough?" It's like we are all running this invisible race, chasing a finish line that someone else set for us. We are handed this script from day one: go to the right school, get the right job, look a certain way, act a certain way. This constant pressure from the outside world can feel like a heavy gauntlet we are forced to wear. And while we are trying to lift this weight, our true, authentic self, the one with quirky interests and messy emotions, gets buried deeper and deeper. There's a huge gap between the person we feel we should be and the person we actually are. This gap is where anxiety, self-doubt, and that feeling of being an imposter thrive. We're so busy trying to live up to external expectations that we forget to listen to our own internal longing, that quiet but persistent call to just be ourselves. Let us talk about a myth that has been holding us captive for way too long. The myth of the chosen one. We see it everywhere, in movies, in books, in the stories we tell about successful people. It's this idea that some people are just born special, destined for greatness, touched by fate. They have the it factor, the magic ingredient that sets them apart. And the rest of us? Well, we are just background characters in their epic story. This narrative is not just misleading, it's incredibly damaging. It creates a hierarchy of worth, suggesting that unless you're hitting some predefined benchmark of extraordinary, you're falling short. It makes us wait for some external validation, some lightning bolt moment to tell us we are finally worthy. But here's the truth they don't tell you: you don't need to be chosen. Your worth isn't something you earn or discover, it's inherent. It's been there from the very beginning. Each one of us is on a unique, unrepeatable journey. Your path, with all its detours, its challenges, and its quiet moments of joy, is just as valid and just as important as anyone else's. The real power isn't in being the chosen one, it's in choosing yourself every single day. So how do we start choosing ourselves? It begins with a concept that might feel a little scary at first: radical self-acceptance. This isn't about just loving your good parts, the successful, the confident, the happy-go-lucky you. It's about embracing all of you. That includes the part of you that gets anxious, the part that makes mistakes, the part that feels lazy on a Sunday morning. It's about looking at your flaws, your insecurities, and your darker emotions not as things to be fixed or hidden, but as integral parts of your human experience. Imagine inviting every part of yourself to a table for a conversation. You wouldn't kick out the anxious guest or the sad one, would you? You'd listen to them, try to understand what they need. Radical self-acceptance means stopping the war against yourself. It's a profound shift from trying to mold yourself into some external ideal to focusing on authentic, internal growth. Instead of asking, "What does the world want me to be?" you start asking, "Who am I, right now, in this moment, and how can I honor that person?" This isn't about complacency. It's the fertile ground from which real, sustainable change can grow. Because when you accept where you are, you can finally decide where you want to go, not out of self-hatred, but out of self-love. Embracing this new mindset is a wonderful start, but to make it last, we need to build resilience. Resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about learning how to bend without breaking and how to get back up when you fall. This strength is built not in grand, heroic moments, but in the small, consistent habits we cultivate every single day. Think of it like training a muscle. One powerful habit is journaling. It doesn't have to be a Dear Diary epic. Just a few minutes each day to untangle the thoughts in your head, to put your feelings onto paper without judgment. It creates a space for you to meet yourself honestly. Another is mindful reflection. This could be a 2-minute meditation, a quiet walk, or simply pausing to take 3 deep breaths before jumping into your next task. It's about creating tiny pockets of stillness in your day to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What do you need? And perhaps most importantly, setting boundaries. Learning to say no is a radical act of self-care. It's about protecting your energy and honoring your limits. It tells yourself, and the world, that your well-being matters. When we start practicing these habits, our perspective on challenges begins to shift. A setback is no longer a confirmation of our inadequacy. It becomes a lesson. A difficult conversation is no longer something to be feared, but an opportunity to practice standing in our truth. These daily practices are the bedrock of a resilient spirit. And this journey, this process of unmasking, accepting, and building resilience leads to the ultimate destination, reclaiming your power. This isn't an aggressive, look at me now kind of power. It's a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from deep within. It is the inner peace you feel when you no longer need external validation to know your worth. It's the freedom of showing up in the world as your authentic self, without the exhausting performance of trying to be someone you're not. When you live from this place, everything changes. Decisions become clearer because they are aligned with your true values. Relationships become deeper because they're based on genuine connection, not on a persona. Your creativity flourishes because it's not being stifled by fear of judgment. This is the real transformation. It's not about becoming a perfect, flawless being. It's about becoming holy and unapologetically you. And here's the most beautiful part. When you stand firmly in your own power, you give others permission to do the same. Your authentic life becomes a ripple in the water, a quiet inspiration. You start to impact the world not by striving or forcing, but simply by being. You prove that the most powerful thing you can ever be is yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content on living an authentic life. See you in the next one.
Have you ever felt like you're running a race with no finish line? Every day it feels like the world is screaming at you to be smarter, richer, thinner, more productive, more something. We're bombarded with images of perfection, endless highlight reels on social media, and the constant nagging feeling that we're falling behind. We scroll, we compare, and we feel that familiar pang of inadequacy. It's exhausting, isn't it? This relentless pursuit of external validation leaves us feeling empty, like we're just a collection of flaws that need to be fixed. But what if I told you there's another way? A path that doesn't involve changing who you are, but radically, unconditionally, and unapologetically accepting yourself, right here, right now. This isn't about giving up or settling. It's about reclaiming your power. This is the journey of radical self-acceptance, and it starts with one simple yet profound decision: to choose yourself. So what exactly is radical self-acceptance? Let's break it down. The word radical implies going to the root, the fundamental source. It's not just about liking your good days or appreciating your talents. It's about accepting the whole picture, the messy parts, the mistakes, the scars, the vulnerabilities. It's looking at your reflection and saying, I see all of you, and all of you is worthy of love and respect. It's about accepting your reality without judgment. Maybe you made a mistake at work, or you're struggling with a personal challenge. Radical self-acceptance doesn't mean you're happy about the situation, but it means you don't beat yourself up for it. You acknowledge the reality of it, the feelings, the consequences, without layering on the extra pain of shame and self-criticism. It's the difference between saying, I failed, and therefore I am a failure, and saying, I experienced a failure, and now I will learn from it. This shift is monumental. It moves you from a state of constant self-warfare to a state of inner peace and partnership with yourself. The first step on this path is often the hardest: awareness. We have to become aware of our inner critic, that voice in our head that's always pointing out our flaws. For many of us, this voice is so constant we don't even notice it's there. It's just background noise. So start by listening. What does your inner critic say? When does it get loudest? Maybe it pipes up when you're about to try something new, whispering, you're not good enough. You're going to embarrass yourself. Or perhaps it's there when you look in the mirror, listing every perceived imperfection. Just notice it. Don't fight it, don't argue with it. Just observe it as if you were a scientist studying a strange phenomenon. You might even give it a silly name. When Grumpy Gary starts his usual rant, you can say, oh, Gary's back at it again. This small act of separation creates distance. It helps you realize that this critical voice is not the truth. It's a product of past experiences, societal conditioning, and fear. It's a scared part of you trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. Once you can see it for what it is, you can begin to loosen its grip. Now, let's talk about the mirror. For so many people, the mirror is a battleground. It reflects back not just our image, but all our insecurities. The journey to self-acceptance often involves transforming our relationship with our own reflection. I want you to try something. It might feel strange at first, but stick with it. Go to a mirror, take a deep breath, and just look at yourself. Really look into your own eyes. At first, your mind will probably jump to criticism. Look at those dark circles. Your nose is crooked. You look so tired. Gently guide your attention away from that. Instead, try to see the person looking back at you. See the life in those eyes. Think about everything you've been through, the challenges you've overcome, the joy you've felt. Now, try saying something kind. It can be simple. You are trying your best, or I'm here for you, or even just, hello. Doing this consistently, even for just a minute a day, begins to rewire your brain. You're training yourself to see a person worthy of kindness, not an object to be critiqued. You are replacing years of self-judgment with moments of compassion. This isn't about vanity. It's about humanity. It's about seeing yourself as a whole person, deserving of the same kindness you would offer a friend. Once you start practicing awareness and compassion, you begin to notice how much energy you've been spending trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. We contort ourselves to meet the expectations of our parents, our friends, our jobs, and society at large. We hide the parts of ourselves we think are too much or not enough. Radical self-acceptance is your permission slip to break out of those boxes. It's about honoring your authentic self. What do you genuinely love? What makes you feel alive? What are your unique quirks and passions? Maybe you're a loud laugher, a deep thinker, a lover of silly movies, or someone who finds joy in solitude. For so long, you might have tried to quiet these parts of yourself to be more acceptable. Now is the time to let them shine. Wear the clothes that make you feel amazing, even if they're not in style. Pursue the hobby that brings you joy, even if no one else understands it. Speak your truth kindly but firmly. When you stop performing and start living, something magical happens. The people who are meant for you will be drawn to your authentic energy. You'll build deeper, more meaningful connections because you're allowing yourself to be truly seen. Your world doesn't shrink. It becomes more vibrant and real. Of course, this journey isn't a straight line. There will be days when the inner critic is loud. There will be moments when you fall back into old patterns of comparison and self-doubt. That's okay. That is part of the process. The key is to treat these moments not as failures, but as opportunities to practice. When you catch yourself in a spiral of negative self-talk, pause, take a breath, acknowledge the feeling without judgment. I'm feeling insecure right now, and that's okay. Then offer yourself a dose of self-compassion. What would you say to a dear friend in the same situation? You'd probably say something like, "Hey, it's okay. You're having a tough moment." Be gentle with yourself. Say that to yourself. This is the radical part in action. It's easy to accept yourself when things are going well. The real work is accepting yourself in the struggle and the imperfection. Every time you choose compassion over criticism in a difficult moment, you are strengthening your self-acceptance muscle. It's a practice, not a destination. You don't one day arrive at perfect self-acceptance and stay there forever. You simply get better at returning to a place of kindness and grace with yourself over and over again. Embracing this path also means redefining your relationship with your body. We live in a culture that treats bodies as projects to be constantly perfected. But your body is not an ornament, it is your home. It's the vehicle that carries you through this life. It allows you to experience the world, to taste delicious food, to feel the warmth of the sun, to hug someone you love, to dance to your favorite song. Radical self-acceptance invites you to shift from criticism to gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you wish was different, try focusing on what your body can do. Thank your legs for carrying you, your lungs for breathing, your heart for beating. Move your body in ways that feel good, not as punishment. Eat food that nourishes you and also brings you joy. This is not about letting go of health goals, but about pursuing them from a place of love, not hate. When you respect and care for your body because you value it, not because you're trying to fix it, your entire approach to well-being transforms. You become a team with your body, working together towards vitality and joy, rather than fighting against it. As you walk this path, you'll start to notice a profound shift in your life. The frantic search for validation from others begins to quiet down. You no longer need someone else as approval to feel worthy because you are cultivating that worthiness from within. This is true freedom. You become the source of your own approval. You become your own anchor in the storm. When criticism or rejection comes your way, it may still sting, but it no longer shatters you. You have a deep internal wellspring of self-worth to draw from. You know that your value as a person is not up for debate. This inner strength, this solid sense of self, is what allows you to take risks, to be vulnerable, to build authentic relationships, and to pursue your dreams with courage. You are no longer waiting for someone to choose you, to tell you that you're good enough. You have already chosen yourself. You are the chosen one of your own life. This transformation from seeker of external validation to the self-chosen one is the ultimate act of reclaiming your power. It's a quiet revolution that takes place within you. It is the moment you look in the mirror and do just see a collection of parts, but a whole, worthy, and powerful being. It's the realization that you were never broken. You were always whole. Society just tried to sell you a story that you were not. Radical self-acceptance is you finally closing that book and starting to write your own, one where you are the hero. You stand tall, not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence, rooted in the unshakable truth of your own worth. The world doesn't get quieter, but your inner world becomes a place of peace. You are no longer at war with yourself. You are home. So I invite you today to take that first step. Just for a moment, put down the weight of everyone else's expectations. Quiet the inner critic, even for a second. Look at yourself with a little more kindness. Acknowledge your own humanity. This journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single compassionate thought. You are worthy of your own love. You are worthy of your own acceptance. Start there. The world is waiting for the real you to emerge. Thank you so much for joining me on this today. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content on living a more authentic life. remember to be kind to yourself. See you next time